Hey everybody, Tom Manny here, Golden Harvest Agronomist in Indiana. And so today's video, I wanted to give a little bit update on where we're sitting with tar spots so far this year. So nationwide, we've had a number of counties begin to find tar spot out in their fields right now. Where I live in Indiana, so far we have 3 over the past 2 weeks. So it's important to know that we need to be on the lookout for this disease. Because it can be so detrimental to yields come fall. So today's video, I wanted to talk about a few things. So first off is how to scout for it. So where we want to be looking this time of year for tar spot. Number 2, what fields do we want to be looking for tar spot in? So what fields are going to have the highest risk within your operation for tar spot? Those are the fields we're going to want to look for it first because there's a higher chance of finding it. And then 3, the last thing I want to wrap with is how can we manage it if we do have tar spot. So let's first off take this into the field. Let's go look through the canopy, see what we can find, and I'll show you guys where do we need to be looking. And then I'll come back out and we'll talk about the rest. So let's start with that. All right, doing everybody a favor here by having the camera turned around so you don't have to see my ugly mug. So we're out in this great looking field, and we got a lot of growth on this plant in this field, despite how dry we were early. But with this recent rains that have been returning to my area, it's upping the risk for tar spot being found. So when we're out looking, how tar spot works is it overwinters on the plant residue on the ground. And so when it overwinters, it just sits on that residue, and then we get an activating rain, and there's a proper environment for it to survive in. It's going to start to sporulate, and then those spores are going to jump up on the lower leaves. So as we look through here, we're going to want to be looking on these lower leaves first for any signs of tar spot. So that's where we're really going to want to be able to starting that's where we're really going to want to start our scout, is looking in the lower canopy. Now tar spot does blow around, and so when, let's say for instance, it infects your neighbor's field, when the tar spot infects all the way up towards the top of the plant, it'll continue to shoot spores off, and those spores can blow and infect your field as well. Now, we don't have enough pressure this year yet to have any upper canopy infections. All infections are going to be lower in the canopy. So that's where we're going to want to really start looking first. So the other important thing to look for is there's going to be you might see tar spot, or what you think is tar spot, out there. But we do not want to confuse it with bug droppings. Let's see if I can find any. So right there, we're going to look and see if that is bug droppings or tar spot. So what you're going to want to do, if it's bug droppings, you can wipe it off. You just lick your thumb. So let's try that here. And it's gone. So that's a bug dropping right there. The other thing to note is tar spot goes through the whole leaf. So if you flip the leaf around, if you see a black dot on the top, and then you flip the leaf around and you look on the bottom and you don't see anything, it's not tar spot. Tar spot's going to infect through the entire leaf. So let's talk a little bit more now about what fields have the highest risk of tar spot pressure. So the fields we're going to want to be looking at first, one being non-rotated fields. So we know tar spot overwinters on the residue from the year before. And so fields that have not been rotated, that have had tar spot pressure in the past, there's a very high chance that that inoculum is still out there. So as we get rains that are going to cause that inoculum to spore out and infect the plant, those are the fields that we're going to want to be looking for. Number 2 are irrigated fields, fields with pivots on them. The reason being is that tar spot loves moisture. It needs about 7 to 10 hours of leaf wetness in order for it to infect the plant. And when you're running a pivot, there's going to be a lot longer periods of where it's wet. So fields under irrigation do have a higher risk of tar spot pressure. The important thing to note with tar spot is it is a polycyclic disease. So what that means is throughout the growing season, you get one spore on a plant. That spore is going to make more spores. And then those ones are going to make more spores, and then those will make more spores. And so that's how it can infest fields so quickly. That's why we can see fields that look green and healthy like we have behind us. And then over the matter of 2 weeks in August, it's brown and dead in no time because it infects so quick. So it's very important to get out there and understand what your level of pressure is and get a fungicide out if you have tar spot pressure. Okay, last thing we need to talk about is controlling tar spot. So you do a good job scouting. We get out to your fields and you see that tar spot starting. What do? So one thing that we know that does a very good job of controlling tar spot is fungicide. So they do a very good job. I always recommend using a high quality fungicide, something with at least 2 or 3 modes of action. Single mode of action products do not seem to perform as well against it, but they can. But I would definitely recommend using something with multiple modes of action. All right, that's all I have to share about tar spot today. If you need any more information, please reach out to your local Golden Harvest representative and they'll be happy to help you and keep you informed on where tar spot's sitting here in 2023. Thank you very much. Have a great day.